Alright, what's going on YouTube? I've got some controller settings for Season 6 of the finals that just dropped. They got the new light AR. It's making me a light main, but what's that mean I have to do? It means I have to be more flicky and more responsive if I'm playing against players on crossplay against keyboard and mouse players. And if we all know anything, it's that the best players that play this game are on keyboard and mouse. But I can compete with the best of them because that's not a good example, but because I have these good settings. So, the first things first, I'm going to go into gameplay. Before we go into controller settings, the most important setting that you're going to need to make sure is the same as mine is the auto sprint. It needs to be on, and auto sprint trigger delay is on 0. If you don't have it on 0, if you have anything up here, right, you're going to have to walk, and then go. You're not going to be able to instant sprint or instant slide. Maybe that's not enough for this example, but the instant slide is so important, especially if you're playing medium. So you're going to be crouching instead of sliding, and then now I can slide. So you want to have that on 0 so you can immediately go into a slide. Like I'm in the middle of a fight. This helps me so much. I'm a big fan of the FCAR. FCAR is my favorite gun in the game. You'll be fighting. You're shooting someone, and then you want to slide and reposition. It makes it way harder to keep you as a target, regardless if you're fighting. Like the slide jump, instead of just like crouching, going to the right, you can completely just reposition and completely re-engage. It makes you a much harder target to hit. And when you're a medium doing this, you don't have a whole lot of movement anyway. You shoot, instant slide to the right, and then it's a really good way to fix a gunfight that you're losing. So if you're getting beamed and they're getting more headshots than you, you can just tell. You get that feeling you're gonna lose that gunfight. It's a good way to boom, okay, and then slide and then re-engage in the gunfight, and then usually that'll reset it enough because you're ready for it and they're not, for them to be completely caught off guard and give you the edge. Now, to get into the controller settings, hopefully we can get away from those gunshots because that's loud as hell. These are my sensitivities, right? Don't be super intimidated. I have it maxed out at 750. Look, vertical sensitivity. Let me shut these guys up over here. I wish there was an option to just make them shut up, but they just shoot at each other over and over and over again, and I don't know how to turn it off. And it's super loud. So 750, 425. You need to multiply this by 0.652 to find your look sensitivity. So I did that, went from there, upped it a little bit, just going to be a little bit more flicky up and down because I play grapple. But this is what I use here. This used to be last season. The max out used to be 500, 500. So they updated it. They upped it all the way to 750. I, of course, took advantage of that. I have a Flydigi Vader 4 Pro, right? This is a Pro controller. I have foam around my stick and a thumbstick extender. That is why I'm able to do 750. I can make these micro adjustments and still have good aim, but then I can flick around and go somewhere else and use that max sensitivity. That's what lets me compete with keyboard and mouse players, right? So I can flick up to the wall and hit that grapple and do stuff like that. I can go throw this and then come back over here, boom. That is really important for stuff like that. So you need a higher sensitivity. If you're going to play this game seriously, there are two things that I recommend. One, accessories for your controller, right? Get foam around your right thumbstick. Super important for me. I've got Control Freaks foam. They come like this. They're little rings. They go around. Green is the softest. Black is the hardest. Eventually move yourself up to black. It gives you more tension in your stick, so you can like push against something. It makes you more accurate. I can't fully explain it until you experience it yourself. But, man, shut up. Stop shooting at each other. But the best part about that is it makes it feel like you get the best of both worlds. Low sensitivity for aiming or whatever, and then you can flick for movement. So it's really important. Second point, if you're going to be, you want to take your controller usage to the next level. This is for all games in general. I actually have 3 points. Go from holding your controller like this, right? This is how everyone holds a controller. You hold it like this, right? Maybe if you have back paddles or not. Go from this to this. Okay? Trust me, man. It's the better move. I promise. You hold it like this. Like that's how you're holding it now. That's how everyone holds a controller, right? Go from this to this. Okay? That way you can use all 4 of these at once without having to move your thumbs. Also, you need to be jumping with not any of these buttons over here. Okay, you need to jump with something that doesn't take your thumb off the thumbstick to jump. That if you don't do that, then you're going to be jumping and then aiming, jumping and then aiming. You can't be doing that. You need to be aiming and jumping at the same time, so you can hit these like strafe bunny hops and stuff like that. It's huge, especially if you're using the grapple. You can hit a crazy bunny hop. It's just way too important. So you need to change that layout. Some people, you're going to hear that and you're going to go, no way. You're just going to say no. It feels uncomfortable. There's no way I'm going to get used to that in time. I knew you guys were going to start shooting at each other. I had like a second sense. But I'm telling you, it's up to you. Your choice. If you want to take your controller game to the next level, do that. Point number 3, before we get deep into settings. My top 2 controller choices. If you're looking for a pro controller, you're hearing what I'm saying, you want to take that next step, you're using a default controller. 1, do not get an Xbox Pro controller. I don't care if it's SCUF, if it's Hex, do not get it. It has mandatory input delay. Xbox controllers have input delay. What is input delay? It's when you press a button and then there's a delay between pressing a button and what happens in the game. So I go like this on my stick to move forward. I won't move forward right away. There will be a delay, and then your brain has to compensate for that. You want it to be immediate. PlayStation controllers, PlayStation wired controllers do not have that delay. I do not know why Xbox hasn't fixed this. I grew up playing Xbox. That's why this is not an Xbox controller, but it's Xbox layout. I like it better. But you are at a clear disadvantage if you're using an Xbox controller, whether you're on PC, console, or whatever. Now, that being said, my 2 best controllers, it's going to be a little contradictory to what I just said. You like what I'm saying. Number 1, FlyDigi Apex Pro, right? Get a USB-C cable yourself to connect it. Make sure it's a wired connection. Love this, but this is PC only. So my backup option, I just got this controller. This is the Razer Wolverine V3 edition, right? It works for... I thought I just saw gunshots out my window. I hope that was lightning. Wow, if this video never posts, I guess I got jumped in my house. The Wolverine V3 Pro Tournament Edition. It's wired. This is fantastic. Now, this, they have specifically advertised... Please shut up. They have specifically advertised that the input lag is gone on this. So... that is why I made an exception. This is an Xbox controller. It'll work on console. I play on PS5 on console when I'm playing ranked because of the cheaters in this game. The only reason it isn't my main for PC as well is because it feels a little small in my hands. So if you're on PC and you have the choice, go with the FlyDigi Vader 4 Pro. That is by far and away my favorite controller ever made. Do some more research on it. It's great. But if you can't, you're playing on console, get the Wolverine V3 Pro. They have a PlayStation version for it too. It is fantastic, especially if you're holding this the way I told you to. It's got these paddles are perfect for these unique finger positions, and if you refuse to change to how I told you to hold a controller, you go back to normal, it's still in really good comfortable positions for my fingers. That's one of the biggest things I watch for reviews. People don't talk about how comfortable it is. I can play on both of these positions. It's really good. It feels small in my hands, which is why it's not my main. I'm trying to get used to it, but it also has extra buttons. Like there's 3 right here. Hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's extra bumpers. Yeah, okay, that's gotta be lightning. Extra bumpers. It's great. It's fantastic. I wish it was a little bit larger, but those are my top 2 controllers. People have been asking about that for a long time as well. Now, to get in my settings. 750, 425. Zoom sensitivity multiplier. This is for iron sights, I think. Holy crap. Be quiet. Zoom sensitivity multiplier, iron sights, or low zoom optics, right? 55%. If you don't have that zoom, I don't need as much of a slowdown. And then scope zoom sensitivity multiplier, this is 35. Now, I'm going to say something sleazy. We're on controller, we get aim assist, right? The more I slow it down, you want to be strafing and aiming at the same time. The slower you make this, the more micro adjustments you can make. It's definitely going to be beneficial to have it on something low like that, 35. You can go anywhere from 35 to 45. I found that is going to be my sweet spot, but it works. Like you can beam with this even as they're moving. You're playing 35, 45%. I love it, but you can still flick around and then like flick to another target. So that works for me. But speaking of flicking, We go over here, horizontal look boost and vertical look boost. These are the most important settings in the finals for controller players. If you want to compete with keyboard and mouse players, you have to have these maxed out. I do not care. What does this do? This gives you a dual zone S curve, right? That reserves the outside portion of your right stick. So you make little adjustments and you get normal sensitivity. But if you push it all the way to the right, I'm looking around, like just little adjustments. If I push all the way right, it'll give me even higher than my max sensitivity, right? So it's like, oh crap, you want to start looking over here. Here you go. And then, oh crap, someone's shooting me in the back, or someone's shooting me back here. So that's what that's for. It's for when you max out your right stick to one side, it will give you a boost to flick you around as fast as possible. And this, I use this all the time, especially if I'm like using grapple. It's really, really, really good for that. It's really good for dash as well. And flicking from target to target. It's so important, especially in this game. So if you're going to be using this on controller, you're going to have to be using the setting that makes the boost max out. I have my vertical a little bit less to keep me on this horizontal plane, but that is the most important setting you're going to take away from this video. Other than that, let's look at everything else. We'll look at my bindings and stuff. Look response curves, sinusoidal. That's the best for me. I'm pretty sure that makes it an S. That feels the best for me. So I recommend that for you. I use directional equipping. I have paddles on the back. So my left inner paddle and my right inner paddle are for my gadgets. So for here, right, like I'll hit my paddle for my vortex or my pyro grenade, and then I'll pull them into this fire pyro stuff, and then I click in my left stick click for my food grenade. So my center stuff, or like I'll click on my left stick for my defibs if I'm medium. But that being said, here's are the rest of my keybinds as an example. Boom, boom, boom. If you're curious, make sure you're binding this to stuff that is comfortable for you. Aim assist, obviously we have all these on because keyboard and mouse players do get an advantage over us, no matter what you say. If you want to take the next step past me as a controller player, turn all this off and turn on gyro. Learn gyro aiming, and you will hit maximum potential as a controller player. So, but I'm not there yet. So if you want to be the best control player you can be, the way controllers are like meant to be used from the dawn of time, this is the way to do it. These settings, this is what I'm doing. It's working really well for me. I've hit max rank season 2 in this game. We've hit emerald. I was crimson in Call of Duty. We are grandmaster in Marvel Rivals, all on controller using similar settings. So this is what I would recommend, the controllers I would recommend for you. Let me go through my video settings too. This is what I'm running now. I run really high visual like epic ray tracing, everything. I want my game to look really good. That's because I make content on the game. I also enjoy how it looks. It's also been recently running really, really well, even at max settings. So here are my graphic settings. You might want to turn it down if you're getting some issues in game, but I just want to share what I'm running. Here's my audio settings. Here's my music. I had customized music on. I'm going to turn that back on because I want the season 6, 5, and 1. And that's what's working for me. Colorblind mode. Default motion blur. Sometimes I have this on if I'm feeling cinema. If I'm going for clips, I have it on. If I'm trying to compete in like ranked or higher levels of World Tour, I have it disabled. And I was just playing World Tour. That's a gameplay you're going to see after this. And those are all of my settings. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you're on console and you don't like either of these controller choices, or you got questions about foam, how it works, overclocking controllers, I know everything you need to know about it. So ask me in the comments. I've got plenty of other recommendations other than these two that I could give you. And just, hit me up in the comments and I will let you know. Thank you for watching. I love y'all, and I'll see you guys in the next one.